guys, it's Irene here, your Gen Xer from New York City, just share my life with you. And I have thoughts. I have thoughts today, and I am just wanting to share them with you. This is going to be a little controversial for some people, and that's fine. I think that it's important to speak the truth, even when people don't like to hear the truth. And today I was inspired by some things I saw on TikTok and Instagram, things I've been seeing on those apps for a while. And I have to tell you, what I'm seeing from parents, specifically mothers, posting on the internet is absolutely disgusting. So I'm going to go and talk to you about what makes you, if this applies, a bad mother. Right? I'm just going to tell you what it is. You don't like it? I said what I said. Move along. Have a good life. The first one I'm going to talk about is always the one that makes people just want to fight with me all the time when I used to comment on videos and things. And that is you putting your hands on your child for every little thing. Now, I understand that spanking is huge, especially in the Black community. I have my own personal experiences with that I've spoke about in the past. I will not go through that again. My thing is, I don't understand how people can want to whoop your child with your hand, belt, whatever, and they can't defend themselves. These are children. These are children who are growing, who are learning, who are trying to stretch out their responsibilities. They're trying to see what their limits are. That's normal behavior. How are you beating or spanking your child for being a normal child? Your child talk back, so they all talk back. Every kid talks back. You have to learn to have a conversation with them. Teach them how to be respectful, which will be my next point, but let's stick to this one. You teach your child to be respectful by the behaviors that you portray. It's do as I say, not as I do, but they're going to do what you do. So if you are disrespectful to them or others, well, how are they going to be respectful to other people? So they talk to you disrespectfully. Okay, have a sit down conversation with them. Why do you have to beat them for? Why do you have to put hands on them? It's amazing how people are so quick and so willing to put hands on someone who cannot defend themselves. But as soon as it's some big person, oh, you're not going to say you would never say to what you said to your child or what you did to your child, you would never do that to a person on the street because you know you're going to get your butt whipped. You only do it to someone who's smaller than you, who can't defend themselves. That make it make sense. You want to teach respect? That's not it. You're teaching your child to fear you. You're teaching your child to be violent because that's what it is. You're committing violent acts on a child because they were being a normal child. Make it make sense. And people say, oh, it's not violence. Hitting is violence. Hitting is violence. Period. End of story. Talk to your mama. I'm not going to argue with you. So being violent to your child, and then all of a sudden, your child starts fighting other kids at school, other teachers, random strangers. They're aggressive. Do you have any idea how bad? Do you have any idea how badly being hit as a form of discipline affects another person? The stats are right here that shows the increase of violence and people who are hit as a form of discipline. So, and here's the thing, I'm not saying it's never acceptable to spank your child. I'm not saying that at all. I am saying for people who just do it constantly. Now, there are times when it is warranted, when the child is doing dangerous behavior and they've been told over and over again to not do it. Maybe it might be time to do that. Maybe it's time to do that if they're committing crimes, like let's say they're shoplifting, and it's not their first time. The first time you might want to figure out why they're doing it, especially if there's no reason for it. After that, it's like you're doing too much. I get that. But just because they talk back or they suck their teeth or something like that, or they were late coming home from school with a valid reason. All of these other reasons why people are just spanking their children just willy-nilly is unacceptable. Sorry, but you're a trash mother or trash parent in general. But if you're a mother especially, because I know there are a lot of single mothers, you're trash if this is how you're doing. If you can't talk to your child and find some other form of discipline, I don't know what to tell you. My daughter, I spanked her once when she was about 4. I felt so bad because I can empathize with her. I can put myself in her situation. I felt so bad that I never did it again. I learned other forms of discipline, particularly taking away her phone. That worked well. And then I only had to do it once because my child is very attached to her phone, and taking it away for a month destroyed her. She was traumatized. That child never misbehaved again. Never. She's a great kid. She was a valedictorian in her class. You really need to think about why you're hitting your child. Are you really doing it out of discipline or anger? What it just means is that you're a bully, you're abusive, and you don't have the skills to be a good parent. Not fine. Believe it or not. The majority of you are not fine. A large portion of you have gone to jail. People who are hit as a form of discipline wind up in jail, wind up on drugs, wind up having a lot of mental health issues. A lot of them unresolved because you repeat the behavior that you had done to you as a kid. You're a bully, you're abusive, and you need to deal with your own issues before you become a parent. Or if you're already a parent, go to therapy. Because if that's the only way you can discipline your child, you have a problem. The second reason you're not a good mother is this. Your kids are home, they're hanging out, your daughter's wearing t-shirt and shorts. Regular shorts, no Daisy Dukes, nothing like that. Regular shorts and t-shirt that she would wear going to the park. Your man is coming over, or you have an uncle or a nephew or somebody's coming over, and you make your child put on extra clothes. What she's wearing is good enough for her to go outside. Why is it not good enough for her to be in a house with a certain specific men in your life? It's enough for her to go play outside on the swings or run around with her friends in the park. But a specific man is coming to your house and you need her to put on extra clothes. She can't wear sweatpants in the house. Yeah, you're a sucky parent. Whether you're a mother or a father, you're a sucky parent. Because you don't even realize, or maybe you do, you don't trust that person that's coming to your house near your kid because they're going to look at her a certain way. And if you have a certain person coming to your house that you feel is going to look at your child another way, what the hell are you doing? What the heck are you doing? Why do you have someone come into your house that you don't trust with your child? Your daughter has to wear sweatpants around certain people in your life. What are you doing? You're so desperate for a date, for a relationship, you're going to have a boyfriend in your life that you don't trust around your child? Or you have an uncle that comes over and you're like, you go put on extra clothes. Why would you have that person in your life around your children? Sorry, you're a bad parent. I would never have someone around my child who I felt was detriment to her. I cut my own mother out because there was no way I was having my mother, who did everything she did to me and apparently to her adopted kids, to do to my daughter. Absolutely no way. So you really need to think about why you're allowing that. Another reason you're a bad parent is that you don't sit down and talk to your children and listen to understand them. So many parents just have kids around, but they don't really sit down and talk to them, take them out, have in-depth conversations, learn about their friends, learn about their feelings, their dreams, their hopes, their thoughts, their fears. Don't know anything about them. Nothing. You don't know what's important to them. You don't know what's scary to them. Things happen in the world that are terrifying, You don't sit down and talk to them. You don't really listen to understand. You just listen to respond. You don't really know your kids. Half the people out there don't know their kids very well. And I know that by the number of videos I see of kids getting arrested. My kid would never do that. They did. They absolutely did. You don't know your kid. You don't talk to them. You don't listen to understand. You listen till you can respond to what they're saying by yelling, dismissing everything that they say. You never really think about them. You never put yourself in their position. You don't empathize with who they are and what they're going through in this current time frame. Okay, the fourth reason why you're a bad parent is that you have not taught your children self-respect or respect for others. Now, there's a disparity when it comes to treating people respectfully. There's a group of people, A, that say, hey, and I'm in this group, you treat everyone with respect until they show you that they don't deserve it. And then there's B, saying you don't have to treat anybody with respect unless they've earned it. B is a problem because that means you're going to walk around disrespecting everybody from go. And when you get mollywopped or shot and killed or arrested or whatever it is, because you started off dealing with people disrespectfully, group B is a problem. And it's not only respect for others, it's self-respect. So many young people, men and women, don't have any respect for themselves, and they show it in the way they communicate with people, cursing, calling everybody N-words. I have parents, women especially, calling their daughters hoes. Like, what? You're telling your child a hoe, but you want her to respect you. Where's the respect being taught? You don't even respect your child. You don't even respect yourself. Because if you respect yourself, you're not going to put out that kind of energy to your child. Do you even love your child at that point? I swear, if you don't love your kid, give them to someone who will. Or go to therapy and figure out why you don't. But that talking to your child that way is not respectful. We don't teach young men to say please and thank you. What? You know how many times I'm in the street, you open the door for somebody and they just walk in and no thank you? There's no respect with dealing with society. That's why society sees you like that. Now this last one is only for a specific group of people. Most people are not going to fit in this category. I fully understand that. But for those of you who do, you're a bad parent if you can afford relatively easy to pay for your child's advanced education and you don't pay for it. Let me say that again. If you can afford to pay for your children's college education and you choose not to pay it for whatever reason, you're a bad parent. You still have a responsibility to help them grow, even though they are a legal adult. Now, most of us know that the human brain doesn't fully form until you're age 25. Your brain is still growing. It's still processing. You're still a work in progress up until around the age of 25. And in order for your children to be set up for life, one of the things is you should not want them to have to go into debt. Now, if your kid gets into a school and you can afford to pay the tuition, why are you not paying it? Now, I know there are several people out there who are not. I had to fight with my daughter's father, my ex, because she got into a great school. It is very expensive, but she did get a 50% scholarship. Now, had he not been able to afford it, I wouldn't have even said anything to him. But I do his taxes, so I know he could easily pay it without it making a dent in his financial situation. And he still was fighting against it. He eventually came around, thankfully, but what are you doing? Why are we not doing this? I know quite a few adults who have the money to pay for their kids' tuitions, and they just didn't want to do it because they wanted to keep that money for themselves. It's as if you really don't want your kids to succeed. I would never allow my daughter to go into debt for college. If we weren't able to pay for the school she got into, she would have gone to a local school. And that would have been fine. But she goes to what was considered a new Ivy for STEM, and she has a network around her that's going to really help her succeed. I wanted her to have that experience, and her father did too. But it's a very expensive school. Thankfully, she got a 50% college scholarship. But you got to put up. And just because maybe you did not go to college, if your kid is smart enough to get in a really great school and willing to get some help from the school itself or someplace anywhere to pay for it, do your job. You're still that parent. You're still responsible. Pay it. Help them get ahead in life. I mean, I can understand if they're going to school for clowning or art history or something. I think that there are schools that are not, some degrees aren't worth it. I completely agree that some degrees aren't worth it. If you can afford it, pay it. If you can't, of course, no one's going to say anything to you. You can't afford it. But if you can, pay it. Simple, end of story. Okay, so that's what I have for you today, guys. I know it was serious. I know some of you are going to come at me, and I'm not arguing in the comments. If you want to debate in the comments, go right ahead, guys. I look forward to reading what you have to say. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit sub for more, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out. Bye-bye.